Can you believe it? The Miami Dolphins put it all together today. Offense, defense, special teams. They all get it done. And they go to Atlanta and they get a whopping 34-10 win over the Atlanta Falcons. They are now 2-6 on the season. And my biggest complaint coming out of the game is, where is this all season? Where was this version of Tua Tagovailoa and the defense and the running game? Where was this? Because if we saw this, we would be sitting here at least 4-4 right now, going into Halloween, except for 2-6. Did this team look awesome today? Yes, you bet your ass they did. They looked outstanding. And Dolphins fans around the world should celebrate a win like this. We should. We should celebrate this game because, again, I've said it multiple times here on the channel this year. I don't know how many wins this team is going to get this season. I thought a minimal of that they're going to win a max 4 games all season. That was my max ever since the Buffalo Bills game where we went 0-3. I'm like, this team is not going to win more than 4 games, okay? Then we beat the Jets on Monday night by 6 points. Whatever. Which, by the way, Jets pulled out a crazy comeback over the Cincinnati Bengals today. Same day the Dolphins win, the Jets win. So I think that's a good thing that the Jets won. Crazy day in the NFL. But the Dolphins beat the Jets on Monday night. Then they blow the 17-0 lead to the Carolina Panthers. They lose that game. They up 1 with 40 seconds left against the Chargers. You know, if they do those two things, if they hold their lead against the Chargers and they don't choke a 3-possession lead against the Carolina Panthers, we're 4-4 today. We are sitting here after this game at 4-4, but because of how bad this team has been all season long, we are 2-6. But today, you know, it sort of feels like we've been so, and it's not that we want to be negative, it's that the team is just so bad, and you don't have a choice but to criticize the team. So I feel like for today, you take the record, you throw it out the window, and you're like, okay, man, this team looked unbelievable in every aspect of the game. Where do we start? Honestly, where do we start? Let's start with the offense, I guess. Tua Tagovailoa makes himself look like a complete clown in the podium week after week after week. This week he says, I only targeted Waddle twice because, sometimes it's tough seeing over these offensive linemen and the D-line on the other team. The dude just continues to talk, and he just doesn't know how to shut his mouth. But today, he had an illness in this game, and for the first time in his career, he wore a visor. And Tua was playing with pink eye. And, he might have to keep that visor for the rest of the year because he looked crisp. He looked sharp. He was getting the ball out of his hands quickly. And today, we got 2023 version of Tua Tagovailoa. 4 touchdown passes to 4 different receivers. The running game, when the running game was working, our head coach stuck with the running game. How fucking long did it take to stick with the running game, man? If it works, continue to do it. You shouldn't have had to process this until week 8 when you're 1-6. That's shit, man. Our offensive line is better at run blocking than they are pass blocking. And if the run game's working, we got to stick with it. The running game was great today. Now, had we kept up with it in the previous games? maybe we'd be sitting here at a different record rather than 2-6. Jalen Waddle was awesome. Okay? The offensive line, they did what they had to do. And the defense, this defense was flying all over the field. Now, did we get a lot of injuries? We did. Storm Duck came back today. He's hurt again. I don't know how much longer how long he is going to be out for. Minkah Fitzpatrick was banged up after this game. Jordan Brooks was unbelievable, but this was a phenomenal game for Tua Tagovailoa, for Mike McDaniel, for Jalen Waddle, and for Anthony Weaver. This was the game, and they looked like their old version of themselves. And, as a fan who's been sitting here miserable week in, week out, you look forward on the weekend. You look forward to these games. And I haven't been able to look forward to these games all season because of how bad the team is. And today, it was worth watching, 100%. So I'm very happy. This does not mean that you get to go out there and you get to puff your chest out and you get to talk about how this team's going to go on a run towards the end of the season. We don't get to do that. This team is still terrible. They're not a playoff team. We're still going to probably win 2 more games on the season. We play the Ravens on Thursday night. We'll talk about that a little bit once we're done talking about this game. But we will get into everything about this game. And I'm happy for the guys, man. I'm happy for those guys. They looked dominant. Not only did they find a way to win, they looked dominant today. And they're 2-6. And I'm proud of them. I really am. I'm really proud of this team, the way they played today. Only if we had it in the beginning of the season, we'd be somewhat better than 2-6. But for today, man, I'm proud. I'm proud of the team. I am. So we go to Atlanta, and here's another thing I want to talk about too. Can I get to the stats here? Hold on a second. I want to find some stats. So, going into today, the Falcons, and this was the best Miami Dolphins game. I just want to point this out there. This was the best Miami Dolphins football game since the Cowboys game in 2023. No questions asked. This was an absolute beautiful football game to watch for 3 hours. Going into today, the Atlanta Falcons had the 7th ranked offense overall in the NFL, and they were the 2nd overall defense. And they only had one player missing on defense, Divine Diablo, whatever his name is. He was their best player on defense. Offense, they were missing Michael Penix with a bruised knee. Michael Penix did not play today. We got Kirk Cousins, who, going into this game, okay, we're 1-6. This defense is so bad. All they have to do is hand the ball off to Bijan Robinson. Kirk Cousins is one of the best backups in the league as well. And Drake London, their other top receiver, he's not playing today. And he's already halfway to 1,000 receiving yards. And, now at the end of it, Drake London not being out there is a big deal today. Because Atlanta didn't have many options. And you look at this Dolphins rushing defense the past couple weeks. Rico Dowdle, 200 yards. Kamani Vidal, 124 yards. Quinshawn Judkins, multiple touchdowns. These running backs that the Dolphins have been facing, these backups, not Judkins, but the other two, these backups, they're running all over them. And then we get to today, we face Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson, by the way, is the best running back in the NFL, and we hold him to 25 yards. We held Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the NFL, to 25 yards. That's your game. That's your game right there. So, let's go over some stats. As your Miami Dolphins go to Atlanta, and they whoop that ass 34-10. Tua Tagovailoa was 20 of 26, 205 passing yards, and get this, 4 touchdowns. Bounced back in a big way. Big way. Last week, he had one of his worst performances of his entire career. And this week, he might have had one of his best performances of his entire career. 4 touchdown passes against the second-ranked defense in the NFL. Devon Achane, 18 carries for 67 yards. Ollie Gordon, 10 carries for 46 yards. And Jalen Wright got in on the action today. 9 carries for 28 yards. We get to the receiving game. Jalen Waddle, 5 catches, 99 yards, 1 touchdown. Malik Washington, 4 catches, 36 yards, 1 touchdown. Devon Achane, 5 catches, 24 yards, 1 touchdown. Ollie Gordon, 1 catch, 20 yards, and a touchdown. Tua Tagovailoa threw 4 touchdowns to 4 different players today. Jalen Waddle, it was first Devon Achane, Malik Washington, Jalen Waddle, and Ollie Gordon. 4 players, 4 touchdowns for Tua Tagovailoa. On the defense, Jordan Brooks led the team in tackles. Terrell Dotson got a fumble recovery, and Jordan Brooks was the only sack this defense got today. We go to the Atlanta Falcons side of the ball. Kirk Cousins was 21 of 31 with 173 passing yards. A shell of his former self, unfortunately, is Kirk Cousins. He is no longer a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. Bijan Robinson, 9 carries, 25 yards. Gotta love it. Tyler Algier was their only touchdown on the day. He had 4 carries for 4 yards. Kyle Pitts, 9 catches, 59 yards. Kadero Hodge, 3 catches, 31 yards. Bijan Robinson, 3 catches, 23 yards. And they got, the only sack they got today was D. Alford on the first drive of the game. So, let's break this one down. The Dolphins get the ball first. They won the toss. They elected to receive. And third down, the pressure came, and Tua got sacked by D. Alford. And you'd look, okay, you could totally expect this. Already with the sacks and the pressure and not picking up the pressure, and Tua getting sacked already, the offense goes 3-and-out. The defense forces a 3-and-out. So that was nice. And then the Dolphins offense, they go 13 plays, 79 yards in 8.5 minutes. Tua to Malik Washington for 17 yards. We get Jalen Wright on the outside for 7 yards. Ollie Gordon up the middle on 3rd and short for 3 yards and a first down. And something that they did differently today in the running game, which I like, and this should continue, is the Dolphins bringing in a 6th offensive lineman for the running game. They brought in Daniel Brunskill as an extra offensive lineman for the running game today, and it worked. So Thursday night and going forward, keep doing it, Mike. Keep doing it. We get a pass interference call on Mike Hughes. Brings it down to the Atlanta 35. Devon Achane, 11 yards on 1st and 15. Devon Achane, 3 yards. And on 3rd and short, who do we give it to? Ollie Gordon for a first down. Devon Achane, 7 yards. incomplete, and then on third and 3, Ollie Gordon gets 2. We go for it. Ollie Gordon picks up the first down. Raheem Morris challenges the play. Raheem Morris was never going to win that challenge. And then on second and goal, an easy touchdown pass to a wide open Devon Achane, and your Dolphins are up 7-0. Falcons take the football. Kirk Cousins goes deep to Kyle Pitts for 24 yards, and then Kyle Pitts for 6 yards again. The Falcons go for it on 4th and 3, and Cousins to Algier for 4 yards. If Minka wraps up and tackles Algier, he might have been short, but he got the first down. And then Atlanta, they go 3 and out, 3rd and 1. Zach Sealer blows up the coverage and gets the tackle for loss, and Raheem Morris elects to kick the field goal. So the Dolphins are now up 7-3. And then we exchange punts. We punt on 4 plays. The Falcons punt on 3 plays. First play of the drive, no one touching Jordan Brooks, just tackling Tyler Algier in the background. Absolutely beautiful stuff from Jordan Brooks. Then we start on the Falcons 40. I'm like, right now would be a good time to go out there and put more points on the board. First play, Tua, Jalen Waddle, 22 yards. Devon Achane for 1 yard. Tua to Cedric Wilson for 2 yards. And then Tua had pressure coming, got it out. Ball was batted in the air. I had no idea how this was not intercepted by the Falcons, but Miami caught a huge break, incomplete. Instead of the interception for the Falcons, the Dolphins get a field goal, and you're up 10-3. Atlanta goes 3 and out. Atlanta goes 3 and out, and then the next drive. This was the best drive of the game. This drive right here. You're up 7 with 4:40 to go, and you go 10 plays, 82 yards. First play, 18 yards to Nick Westbrook-Akine. This was his only catch of the game. 2nd and 9, Tua to Jalen Waddle for 6 yards. And then 3rd and 3, Ollie Gordon goes left, and then he bounces to the right, slides for a first down. You got a 15-yard penalty on the Falcons by Leonard Floyd, face mask. Tua to Achane for 9 yards. Ollie Gordon picks up the short yardage first down. 2nd and 14 after a false start. Tua to Malik Washington for 4. And then you get a big-time throw right down the middle of the field. Tua to Jalen Waddle for 11 yards. You needed 10. You got 11. First down, and then the next play, Tua rolls to his left, throws an absolute dime to Malik Washington in traffic, by the way, and the Dolphins get the touchdown. And your Dolphins are up 17-3 over the Atlanta Falcons going into halftime. And you look at this and you're like, wait a second. We've seen this all season. Okay? We saw this against the Carolina Panthers. We all knew how that went. We saw this against the Buffalo Bills. No one expected us to be tied against the Buffalo Bills. We blew it in the second half. We blew it in the second half against the Carolina Panthers. And then against the Chargers, you're up by 4 going into halftime. You blew it in the second half. 1 point lead with 40 seconds to go, you lose the game. But we got a different result this week. Let's talk about it. We share punts. Atlanta goes 3 and out. Miami goes 3 and out. And then, on this drive, first play, Cousins goes deep to Darnell Mooney, and you got a pass interference call on Rasul Douglas for 39 yards. So that's a big penalty right there. Cousins to Bijan Robinson for 17 yards. And then a carry by Bijan Robinson. And he just loses control of the football. His knee knocked the football out of his hands, and Terrell Dotson recovered it. Perfect place to be in at the right time if you're Terrell Dotson. And, well, it was just that kind of a day for the Atlanta Falcons in the office. It was a bad day in the office for the Atlanta Falcons. So Bijan Robinson didn't even get the ball punched or stripped out. He just lost control of it. And then the Dolphins, they take up 6 minutes of clock, 10 plays, 84 yards. Achane picks up 10 yards on second down. Then he loses 2. Then Ollie Gordon picks up 5. You get a pass interference called on A.J. Terrell. And that results in a Miami first down. Then Tua to Malik Washington for 6 yards. Achane for 4 yards and a first down. 2nd and 5, Achane 5 yards, first down. And then you get 2nd and 8. And this is what you get. Okay? This is what you get for sticking to the run. Mike McDaniel finally stuck to the run on this drive. And this is what you get. Jalen Waddle streaking down the field, wide open, and he goes willy-nilly 43 yards into the end zone. Your Dolphins are up 24-3 over the Atlanta Falcons. And after that touchdown, I asked myself, where the fuck was this version of the Miami Dolphins all season? Yes, it's great to get it today, but where is this version of the Miami Dolphins all season long? We didn't get it. We didn't get it. It's why we're 2-6. Atlanta, they turn over on downs after 6 plays. Cousins to Goodell Hodge for 16 yards on 2nd and 5. 3rd and 10 after 2 straight incompletions. Cousins to Kyle Pitts for 6 yards. And then incomplete, which was a pass to Hodge, which was way over his head. Really bad pass by Kirk Cousins. And then Miami gets the ball back. 7 plays, 41 yards. Okay, 2nd and 12. Ollie Gordon for 13 yards. Then Tua, a screen pass to Achane, loses 2 yards. And then 3rd and 9, you just run the ball and you pick up the first down. When you're running the ball and you're up big on 3rd and 9 and you're still getting the first down, man, that's how you know the running game is working today. And good on Mike McDaniel for sticking to the run game. Devon Achane loses 3, and then on 2nd and 13, a screen pass to Ollie Gordon on the left side. Literally nobody but white jerseys and aqua pants are there. And Ollie Gordon goes willy-nilly into the end zone. The Dolphins are up 31-3. 31-3 over the Atlanta Falcons. You get 7 plays, 17 yards. Atlanta turns the ball over on downs again. The Dolphins, they kick a field goal, 18 yards to Jalen Waddle on the first drive. Then you go 3 and out. Riley Patterson, 36-yard field goal. Atlanta goes down the field, 11 plays, 65 yards. They get a Tyler Algier touchdown. And that's your game. That's your game right there, man. The Miami Dolphins win 34-10 over the Atlanta Falcons. And we haven't been able to do this since week 4 because that's the last time the Dolphins won, was week 4 against the Atlanta Jets. So, here on the Big Fight Fuel channel, whenever the Dolphins win, we give out an MVP for the game. The first MVP of the season was Jack Jones. Week 4 against the Jets, I gave it to Jack Jones. This week, against the Atlanta Falcons, who am I giving this MVP to? I'm giving it to Tua Tagovailoa. Probably the worst performance of his career last week in Cleveland. Looked absolutely rattled the entire game. Threw not one, not two, but three horrible interceptions in the second half, which was all on him. Okay? And he comes back today, and he has 138.6 passer rating. He only has 6 incompletions on 26 throws, and he throws for 4 touchdowns. He was elite. This was what we paid for. This is what we paid This is why we paid him $200 million. Is he worth the contract? Absolutely not. And I hope somehow, some way, we're able to move on in the offseason. Because even after this win, this is not a good organization. This team sucks. And right now, the best thing for Tua in the organization is to part ways. And that's just the way it is. And that's reality too, man. So, it was a great win. 34-10. MVP of the game, Tua Tagovailoa. And now, we have a short week. We have a short week at home on Thursday night against the Baltimore Ravens, who are 2-5. And they got a season-saving win today against the Chicago Bears. A season-saving win for the Baltimore Ravens. Tyler Huntley, he was the starting quarterback for a lot of games last year for the Miami Dolphins. He was the quarterback today. Lamar was expected to play. He didn't play. And the Ravens still dominated on offense, putting up 30 points on the Chicago Bears. And they got all their defensive starters back. So now Lamar's back. And the Ravens are back to being fully healthy. They're going to be at full strength come Thursday night. And unfortunately, after missing 3 games, this is the perfect get-right game for Lamar. So, we'll be here Tuesday previewing Thursday Night Football between the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins. The Ravens are big-time favorites going into this game. And, I don't know, man. I mean, we're still 2-6. The season's over 100%. But, I'm not expecting them to get back-to-back wins on Thursday night. I'm going to be honest with you. The Ravens, they're coming off a huge win against Chicago. And now Lamar is going to be back. I think he's going to be humming. He's going to be chomping at the bit. If the Steelers lose tonight to the Green Bay Packers, the Ravens are going to be 2 games back in the division. And the Steelers, they have a really, really, really hard schedule coming up. And the Bengals, they lost to the Jets today. The Jets, the winless Jets, they lost to the Jets at home after they had a 31-16 lead. And now the Ravens, they're going into this game 2-5. You play Miami on Thursday night. And the Steelers lose to Green Bay tonight, the Ravens are going to be right back in the thick of things if they win on Thursday night. And it's going to be up to the Dolphins to stop them for that. So we'll talk about more of this matchup on Thursday. But, man, my throat hurts. It feels good to finally talk about a win, man. And celebrate this one. Okay? Celebrate this one. Then we'll move forward Thursday night. Subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on TikTok and Twitter. Colin_Joseph. I'll catch you guys Tuesday for the preview of the Ravens and Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. Peace. Go Fins, baby.